Continuing, a sheriff has come out who's in Arizona, Sheriff Paul Babu, and he has said that Fast and Furious is a bigger scandal than Watergate, and Attorney General Eric Holder got caught again testifying he knew nothing about it, even when he gave press conferences 2 years ago admitting they were running this. So he's been caught, as we've shown in past transmissions here, and others have been caught in absolute, total, and complete 110% perjury. And Babu has also said Holder should resign because of Fast and Furious, and a whole bunch of, well, over 24 Republicans have called for that as well. The only problem is they don't really need to resign because, as Issa has admitted, the Republicans were involved in this pre-Obama. This has never stopped. Drugs are allowed to be shipped in. Certain cartels are shipped guns to knock out their competition. It's a $500 billion a year industry. You better bet big global banks are involved running it, and they've been proven running it. That's come out. Okay, continuing. How do you stop it? Total drug decriminalization today. Not that I use any of that stuff. I've studied history. I know that the mobsters tripled their profits, corruption expanded, the police got corrupted during alcohol prohibition for 9.5 years. Now, let's go ahead and get to overpopulation. There's all these different groups coming out saying the population in the next 50 years is going to hit, 15 billion or whatever, 14 billion. But all the UN's own actuaries say it planes off at 8.5 to 9 billion in 2024. And because of the aging population, if you don't have 2 adults who have 2 children, there's no one to take care of them or pay for their Social Security. The same thing that third worlders know, hey, I want a bunch of kids to take care of me when I get old. Well, it's the same thing when you have a monetary system. You need 2 people to pay in for every 2 people that are about to go into retirement. All right, so that's the Population Research Institute, and their information is 100% dead on. The UN even has these numbers. So the truth is, once you get a big population, they have a bunch of kids. Most of it's third worlds, they're having a bunch of kids. But now that's all slowed down, so the increase is slowing down. And then it actually turns into a nightmare 50 years from now as population starts actually going down. It's going to be basically like the U.S. worldwide or Japan, where there's just giant cities of old people and nobody to help them or take care of them. Of course, I guess they'll have robots or something, but it planes out at 8.5 billion. And then it starts going into decline. Instead, the globalists are cutting off all of our resources in the name of supposedly fixing things, and it does nothing but cause all sorts of social unrest, which they then use to take even more of our rights. This is eugenics. The elite want 90% of the population reduced conservatively. Some reports were 80%, now it's over 90. That's what the universities are putting out. Can you imagine 500 million people on the planet? That's a little more than the United States, basically. Okay, let's continue here. That's like 90% of the Chinese dead, 90% of the Indians dead, 90% of the Mexicans dead, 90% of the Americans dead, 90% of the Iranians dead, 90% of the Israelis dead, 90% of the Russians dead. Can I go on here? Now, I want to hit 2 more articles on this front. Here is the Huffington Post, and they have the headline, "I am the population problem." And you got to love all these trendy women who say they don't want to have kids till they hit about 40 and then they're desperate to have them. But this is part of the lecturing. And I tell you, even when I was in college 20 years ago, most women were like, I'm not having kids, it's bad for the earth. I mean, and then of course, by the time they hit 40 and are totally empty, they're absolutely unhappy. But this is the cult. I have 3 children. And I routinely, and my wife's had this happen, have trendies walk up in Whole Foods or other places and say, how dare you have 3 children? I mean, this is their religion, and they don't understand anything. It's a dangerous group of control freaks. But the state has always sought to take control of reproduction. Here's another report, though, and this is out of Peru, and it deals with the fact, the LA Times is reporting that more documents are coming out on the forced reduction of population and sterilization. And they've done this through vaccines as well. But they would also forcibly sterilize women. That's going to tie into our interview that's coming up later, dealing with what's happening in Canada. But this is something that's been going on for decade after decade all over the world in covert operations. Now, continuing here, finally, I want to get into the whole communist angle. Communism in the real political paradigm is created by the oligarch bankers to enslave the public in a communal system controlled by the state. Then the money is transferred offshore. But even in communist China, Mao Zedong's wife was put on house arrest for the rest of her life and actually put on trial. He was towards the end of his life. The Chinese themselves, their government says he killed 80 million. Our government says 64 million. But he's not even liked by the communist power structure. This guy killed more people than Hitler and Stalin combined. But I see restaurants named after him in the U.S., Canada, and England. I see trendies wearing his shirts. I've talked to them. And they say, listen, I like Mao, and I want this to be here. You'd like working as a slave on a farm. But at one Occupy event in Philly, a fellow got an interview with a person dressed up as Mao, and they're really serious. They believe Mao is going to bring them liberation. This just shows how this free market system has made this country so wealthy and so powerful that in a way it's produced people totally disconnected from reality. Homosexuality in China is illegal today. They kill you for it. They'll put you in prison for pornography, just a Playboy. I mean, this idiot doesn't know this. And they have no idea that, I mean, go to China and try dressing up like Mao and telling folks about your gender thing. I mean, I personally could care less. The point is, this is a system where you're allowed to do that. They would take you and harvest your organs in 5 minutes flat. Pornography is illegal, and it's punishable for distributing it by death. In fact, we always do this live on air. Guys, Google Chinese sentenced to death for pornography. I'm talking about regular porn. Regular porn, if you're distributing it, and this person wants to get up here and say, I like Mao. Let me tell you, Mao is really going to let you dress up like a woman. I mean, and again, these people want you to get upset by their sex stuff. But personally, stop trying to take my property, my guns, go off to, whatever. But see, the issue is you're not, are you? No, there it is. Pornography is now punishable by death in China. Chicago Tribune. That's from 20 years ago, yeah, 20 years ago. My God, time's flying. I mean, I'm sorry you people don't live in the real world. I do. God, I wish I could talk to that person. It's like, holy mackerel. You know what? You're not a woman. You don't have a womb. You can't have kids. Go out and get a woman. Find out, even if you don't like women, it's great to have children. It's great to have a family. It's how we're designed. I know they taught you it was cute. You get back at mommy and daddy by all this stuff, but come on, man. Come on. Come on. China's going to let you dress up like Mary Poppins? No. China's going to shoot you in the back of the head and blow your brains all over the place. Little stupid commie. All right, I'm done. I'm done with them for now. Whew, these people, they are attacking our system, and they have no idea what the rest of the world's like. God forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Okay, this is going too long here. Because, oh yeah, let's get to this. Now, I remember being at Charlie Sheen's house about a year ago, and he was telling me, oh, yeah, I heard a new Red Dawn's coming out. By the way, I should show it on air. I have the Wolverine jacket. Charlie gave me that. I actually have the Wolverine. Alex is lying. I've shown it on TV before. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's just more weirdness. So when Dave Mustaine told me he's going to come to Austin and hang out with me, I'm sure he will. It's just I love Dave, but the weirdness level of it's off the chart. Of course, there's a lot of other even crazy stuff. The point is, I learned of this a while back, and then I learned it was come out this year, but the Chinese government got mad about it criticizing in the remake, not the Russians invading, but the Chinese over unpaid debts. And so they made it North Korea. They went back and digitally changed every scene to where it's North Korea. But still, the communist Chinese who execute people for pornography or for transgender stuff or for being gay, they are now censoring our media as our biggest debt owners. That is, they bought the bankster debt. And Prime Target Security on their YouTube channel shot this video, and we went and checked with the company. This is indeed their set in Pontiac, Michigan, and it just got released. So this is a first look at the communist occupying the Pontiac, Michigan. And a lot of these signs look like Occupy Wall Street, at least what the Democrats were promoting. i.e. the Federal Reserve that endorsed Occupy. Fighting corporate corruption. Your freedom has been a lie. Liberation is here. Deceitful leaders, greedy corporations. This is not democracy. And the idea there is, back that up. The internet is lies, but you can only trust, the government, basically. And by the way, we have David Cameron in England announcing internet censorship. We have bills introduced to restrict free speech in America. We got the White House regulations czar Cass Sunstein calling for it. I mean, it's on. It is definitely happening right now. So there is a first look at Red Dawn. Reportedly, they got a distributor, and it's coming out early 2012, and I will be promoting it just because a foreign country tried to restrict America's free speech and America's right to expression. Again, to the guy or the woman, whatever the person saying that they love Mao because he'll let them dress up like a woman, listen, they'll shoot you in the back of the head. They're already trying, not the Chinese people, they hate it. But the Chinese government's already trying to censor American movies, and I've had enough of it. So another message to you on that front. Get some reality, okay? And figure out that, folks, if you're going to say you're a woman, dress up like that and go to work. Don't tell them I'm a man now, I'm turning into a woman, and make everybody hear about your sexual stuff all day. It'd be like if we had two heterosexuals in the office kissing in front of people and making a big deal about it. Go get a room. Get out of here. We don't care. We got stuff to do. We're not here because you want to upset mommy and daddy. A lot of us don't care about your sexual stuff. We're past it. It doesn't shock us. We don't want to see it. We don't want to look at your giant ferret teeth, okay? All right, I'm sorry. Just because you like to dress up like Marie Antoinette isn't my problem. Just keep your hands off my firearms, my money, okay? You can dress up like whatever you want.